Let me briefly talk a little bit more about tuples. Tuples are very similar to lists. They're sequences, and many of the operations that work for lists and strings also work for tuples. So here, for example, in the REPL, I have initialized a variable IISC, initialized to the coordinates of our campus. Come and visit us. Now, the type of this variable is a tuple. Something inside round brackets or parentheses is a tuple. Something inside square brackets is a list. The length of this tuple is clearly 2. There are 2 items in it. Once again, the 0th item is this first one, and the last item using negative indexing is this one. If I try to slice this starting at index 1 up to but not including the last item, what do I get? Well, in a tuple of length 2, starting at index 1 and going up to but not including the last item means don't take anything at all. So when you run this in the REPL, you get just this. This is the notation for an empty tuple. Similarly, just 2 square brackets is the notation for an empty list. What about if we try and use illegal indices? Remember, the valid indices in a list or a string or a tuple are always from 0 to the length minus 1. What if we give the slice from starting at index 1 up to but not including index 3? That seems to be out of bounds. Well, Python ignores that, and in this case it just says, well, starting at index 1 I have this, and then I have no more items. Now you might wonder, why did it put this comma? Why didn't it just put 77.5659 in brackets? Well, this is a small technical point. If you just put this number in brackets, that doesn't make a tuple. If you want a tuple that contains a single item, you have to put this rather ugly comma. If you just put it in brackets, it's just like putting a brackets around some expression, and then this whole value would evaluate to a float, not a tuple. Try it in the REPL. Now, if you want to do a singleton item in a list, that's no problem because a list is inside square brackets. So a singleton tuple has this slightly unusual notation. Now, IISC1 is this item. What if we try to modify it to 0.0? Well, tuples are immutable. So trying this operation will result in an error. So looking at this, you might say, well, why should we ever use tuples? I'll just use lists. They're clearly more powerful. And yes, many people use lists. But it's important to remember that tuples do show up at many times in Python code. We saw an example with the except, where we were specifying the various types of exceptions that could happen. You must use a tuple there, not a list. And in some situations, a tuple can be more efficient than lists. Why this happens is beyond the scope of this course.